Hello, everyone. Finally, the time has come for me to create this video, the fourth and the final one on the arrows/variables series. I added beta to the title because I would actually like you to share your experience with me in the comment section below. And then I might create another video with more material for everyone to learn from. And also I find that, this work is so rich and I'm always learning and evolving. And I don't want to say, well, this is the final version and that's what it is. I'm always open to stretch my mind to, include also your experiences, your knowledge. So if you feel called to, after you have watched this video, let me know what role perspective plays in your life. And also if there is anyone's perspective that you feel in conflict with. And saying all that, don't worry, I will remind you of that again as we go forward. All right? Okay. Let's dive in. Firstly, let me just introduce myself quickly. My name is Barchi. I'm an ICF trauma-informed coach. My mission is to support you to step into your power and tap into your inner potential and to believe in yourself. I want you to bring your magic out to the world, expand it with your gifts, and leave everything else that is holding you down behind. And if that resonated, feel free to check my website. I'll put a link in the comment section down below. Okay. Today, we are going to talk about human design perspective, which you can find by following 2 steps. I'll show them in a moment. However, I have 3 announcements to make. First one, there you go. I'm getting some comments from some of you on how things have changed on the website called Genetic Matrix, which, by the way, isn't sponsored. And my comment is, as anything in life, we have no control over that, over what's going on elsewhere. So perhaps check in the comment section of a specific video and find out how other people got the information that they were searching for, or you can simply Google it, because free information is available, at least in the time when I'm recording this video. So do some research, all right? And when you do, share it with others because, that's the easiest way for everyone to learn. Okay, the second announcement. If you haven't watched other videos on arrows/variables, on digestion, environment, and motivation, and the latter is really crucial for my projector friends. So projectors, do check motivation video out. I'll put all the links below in the comment section. And my final announcement, which is actually more of a thank you note. So the story with this video goes, I started creating content about a year ago, and I just couldn't get it off the ground. And a few weeks ago, I think like 2 weeks ago, one of my very dear projector clients shared with me some content from Raoul about this particular subject. And I took it as a sign that I actually really need to finish this video and put it out in the world for everyone else to see, to learn, and hopefully have a better life because of that. I mean, okay, I might be shooting too far here, but my intention is always for you guys to, take this knowledge and apply it so that it can serve you, you know, not limit you. Because if it limits you, then you're doing something wrong with it. Okay, so what I wanted to say, I'm really grateful and thank you so much, my dear client, projector, you know who you are. Okay, now, finally, how to find your perspective. Okay, you can first go to Jovian Archive. You don't have to though, it's optional. And I'll put a link below in the description box. And, you know, here in the picture, you see what you'll see. So basically you'll get a chart, and this arrow will tell you if your perspective is either left or right, meaning focused, left or right receptive. Okay, and let's see. What is the other way? Okay. So what you can do though, and I find this actually easier, is to go to genetic metrics site. And again, this is not sponsored. I'm just sharing what is available out there. And if you have a better source, please do share it with us, okay? So in terms of this website, you need to be logged in to get your free chart. And you will see in your chart, and you know, like here, you will see 3 drop-down menus, and just click on the last one. So this one that is circled, and choose personality. So this one I have already chosen personality. I think, I don't know, does it say quantum before you choose personality? I forgot, but just, you know, follow that. It's so straightforward. I think you really cannot go wrong. Okay, so what you'll see is basically you'll get your chart, and here you will find view perspective and view. And view perspective, as you see, it says peripheral, which equals right pointed arrow. And if it says focus, that equals left pointed arrow, which I will talk about in the moment. And just to clarify, let's see, yeah. So we have 6 colors, and, you know, so in view section, you'll see one of those 6 colors written there. So we have number 1, survival, number 2, possibility, number 3 is power, number 4 is need or wanting, number 5 is probability, and number 6 is personal. What I invite you to do is just jot down the name of your view and look into the timestamps in the description box below or in the comment section. But let's first talk about the left or the right view perspective. Okay, so don't forget to check that one first. All right. I'll start with the right perspective first, or receptive, or peripheral, I think it's the right word. Okay, so this is actually the one that I have. And to be honest, for what I do is super useful. But as you know, with any superpower, any superpower comes with a drawback. So having the right perspective, you perceive your environment like a radar. You detect everything. You know, you might be hyper aware of your surroundings. Obviously it depends also on which color you have, which we'll talk about later. But just imagine someone having a radar which covers 360-degree angle around. And yeah, you just notice and detect everything. And the advantage is that you really see a person or have a full view on situation or on a situation or environment. the trouble can be when the other person doesn't want you to see everything, you know, things that are unseen to them or things that they wish to hide, which that's kind of harder for them. And the other thing that you might have difficulties, and you know what, everything that I say, please do challenge me in the comment section and share your view if you are, you know, if you agree or if you disagree. I'm open to that. So don't spare me your comments, bring them on. Okay. So you might have difficulties choosing one single thing among many because you don't have a focused view, you know, which can be great because you might be, I don't know, reading 5 books at a time or interested in so many different subjects. And that makes you a very interesting person to talk to. And the problem can also be, oh my God, I'm just talking about the problems, but I promise it's, so okay, let me just continue before I kind of, I don't know why am I using the word problem? Okay, so one challenge, let's call it that way, can be when you're standing at a grocery store with a friend, you know, wanting to have a conversation, but you can't really give your whole attention to your friend because maybe you feel or sense when someone approaches you, and you know, you always feel if anything changes. And sometimes that can be, you know, someone wants to kind of push through you and you're like, oh my God, okay, they want this and that. And that can be, you know, that can be, I don't know, I find it overwhelming, honestly. And then your friend might feel, oh, they're not paying attention, which is so not true. And obviously, you know, that sensitivity also depends on other components of your chart. But yeah, overall, that's my experience also. And I'm wondering what your experience is like. And yeah, I feel that this view in general is just really being in reading and attuned to energy. You are reading or attuned to energy all the time. This is how I perceive it. And yeah, as I said, that can be a person or environment or anything really. And, you know, being that aware, I know that, you know, with too much stimulation, that can be, sometimes can be overwhelming, as I said, but it can be really nice because, you know, you are always, I don't know, you just have this grip of the situation or of, you know, this whole perspective of someone. Okay, so to sum it up, you can capture the whole picture and have a wide set of interests and notice things that people might miss or not see in them or the environment. And because you're taking things in as a radar, which, you know, can cause you to be distracted, which I talked about a lot, I know. And the final thing can be choosing a niche. That also might be, you know, if you have a business, that might be hard. And in all honesty, I don't think you need to force yourself if you don't feel called to. And always check in with your authority. And I'm just really wondering, what are the benefits? Like, how do you perceive the benefits of having right peripheral view? I'm really curious because even despite everything that I shared, sometimes I wish I was more focused, but on the other hand, I'm like, you know what, this is my gift and I'm claiming that, you know? Okay, so let's talk about the left one. This one is focused. So if you have a left or focused perspective, I see that as a flashlight or here binoculars. I think these are cool binoculars. Maybe they're not, just let me know. And I find you can be very discerning to where you want to put your focus on, and nothing, or let's say not much, can change that. And I think that's a really cool trait because I can imagine that you're, you know, when you listen to someone, you can tune out all the other noises or, you know, distractions or voices. You can pay attention, but at the same time, you might fail to notice something that might be in your close proximity. So for example, you're one of those people who are not aware if someone is standing behind them, you know, wanting you to move. So yeah, that's actually great, you know. They can always say, excuse me, or whatever. But it's cool just to not be disturbed, not to be bothered, just like standing there and, oh, okay, I'm just observing, I don't know, a heron flying in the air, and the whole world is shut down because all you're seeing is this beautiful bird, and that's it. Yeah. Okay. Where was I? Okay. Yeah, basically what I wanted to say is that I wish I had that, because I get so distracted. So for me, it's really about, I always have to kind of center myself. Okay. So I would imagine that for you, it's also easier, you know, to be focused on either a niche in business, and also maybe, and it doesn't have to be that, maybe you're just focused on something that you study or something that you're interested in, or, and it can be many things, but it's, you know, but you're kind of, I feel like you don't get overwhelmed by variety. I would imagine you're like, okay, I'll pick this or I'll pick that, or I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you can relate to that. Because I would love to know more. And as I started this, I said, I imagine you having binoculars. You choose where you want to look, where you want your energy to go. And I find personally that's really useful, you know, because you can really take one thing in at a time and your system is not overwhelmed, even though I find with the right view is not, but it's just very different, right? It can be, but this one is more like selective. So you're more like, okay, what is, even like tuning into your authority in really checking in, you know, being selective where you want to put your view, you know, like what do you want to see, like where to put my energy. So that's also something for you to think about. Okay, let me know again if this resonates, and yeah, I would love to know more, and yeah, let's get these conversations going if you feel called to. Okay, I feel now it's a good time that we jump into colors, and I'll start with number 1, which is survival. Okay, the major theme, if you have number 1, survival, the major theme here is, if you have this perspective, the question is, how am I going to survive? And what we know of the first color is that they collect knowledge, investigate, you know, they want to know everything about everything. So, I mean, everything they're interested in, obviously, you know, because they're driven by fear, and more data they collect, the safer they feel, because they feel informed. So it's really a basic survival instinct to get to know things in order to survive. In this case, what the first color does is they have a good instinct about people, who they are on their primal level. So for example, who's trustworthy, who's not, who knows how to do something and who doesn't, you know? So it's very easy for them to see potential in others and limitations as well, because for them to feel safe, you know, and one of the measures of safety is, how can people around me make me feel safe, you know, is kind of knowing who's good at something, you know, because if you know who's good at what, you'll know how to, you know, employ them, or, you know, what to expect from them. For example, if someone is a slow runner, you might not want to send them out, I don't know, hunting a deer for dinner. I mean, sorry for really, I don't know, probably it's like a really crappy example, but I really hope that I got my message across. So it's really about just, you know, seeing talent, seeing a person in their, you know, who they are. And for this color, what is also very important is that you take care of yourself in terms of survival. You know, what is crucial here is that you don't operate from the place of fear, because even though this is survival and it's kind of based with fear, you know, but it's important that you don't lose your common sense and that you are connected to your intuition, because survival is connected to your intuition, you know, because when it's connected to your intuition, also your senses are sharpened and, you know, you are really tuned into environment. And when we operate out of fear, it's very different, you know, to when we operate out of survival. You know, as I said, instinct is very different because we have sharp minds. And when we are in fear, if you remember, we are either in this mode of freeze, flight, or fight. And it's really not helping. I mean, it can be, but what I'm saying is if you are in this fear mode, you can also be in a lack mode, lack mentality, and that's not helpful. You know, having this fear in terms of being attuned to your intuition, that's different. So I hope that I was able to explain the difference. And if it's not clear, obviously, you know, share the message below and let's see if we can make it clearer, more clear, I guess. Okay, so what I wanted also to say is to talk about is transference, because that's one is really important. So for color number one, when you're transference, you go into need. And that is, you know, when we as color one believe we need to take care of other people's needs first, you know, we get sucked into their story and forget about ourselves. You know, we have all these projects around us that need something that we need to take care of before taking care of ourselves. So it's, you know, and it really comes down to feeding ours before feeding ourselves. And that's not how it should work. You know, if we think we will survive this way, I mean, we think that we will survive this way, but what happens is that we can become codependent at the very least. And this is something to be aware of. And it's not your job to take care of other people's needs as a color one. It's really not. And, you know, by serving yourself first, you are contributing to society, you know, like on the airplane, when they say you put your mask on first. So yeah, that's color one. You put your mask first, okay? Okay. So as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I would love to hear about your experience, as I might create another video. So let me know what role has your perspective played in your life, if you feel told to, and also like or subscribe if you want to. I'm super grateful and sending you all my love. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, color number two, possibility. When we come to number two, remember that we speak about someone who is willing to try something new. They're exploring, allowing new possibilities, and that goes for people, things, interests. So your view on life is what is possible, you know, and you allow life to show you that, or I mean, you allow life to show you that, or you can see the potential in things and people, or rather you allow potential in life to happen without putting anyone down. And I find this trait so beautiful. This is so, so beautiful and needed trait. And your superpower, the way I see it, so that's totally my label of it, is that you can have a very optimistic view on life if you choose so, or rather, if you aren't attached to the outcome, you can be really free, as you never know what life will bring you. And that's so important. Your main role is not to be attached to the outcome, okay? Because the thing is, at the end of the day, there is always a possibility that life can bring something great. And if you remember the story of a farmer who was facing different events, some were considered good, some were bad. I don't remember the exact story, but I think there was a horse that ran out, and then, people were like, oh, that's such a bad luck. And he would always respond, good luck, bad luck, who knows? And then, the next day, this horse would come back with the tribe of, I don't know, 12 other horses or whatever. And then people would say, wow, you have such a good luck, and so on. And, the story was going like that. And basically, and check out that story. I find it really, really, really inspiring. It's all about detachment. And it's, I think, really theme for you, theme. Okay. So the only thing is, don't have any expectations that something needs to happen. I really want to emphasize that, okay? Because it doesn't, life is full of surprises. So just allow life do its part. And you keep on being in this possibility mode, in hopeful mode, and because that's who you are. Okay, when you go into transference, my guess, your transference is probability. And what does that mean? That means that your mind can become fixated. You might be willing to bet that there is very likely that something will happen. And don't do that, okay? Because your job is not to be fixated on something, but, just sample things and allow them to change. Because we all change in every moment as I speak. Even right now, your mind is changing as you're listening to me. You're forming new thoughts, maybe, new connections, or maybe new questions are coming up for you, or maybe you're, just connecting the dots. Oh yeah, I remember that when I did that. Oh yeah, now I remember why did that event didn't go well. And isn't that itself magical? I would definitely say so. So don't be too sure on something. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, rather let possibilities in life in without attachment. Okay. Let me know, please, if this resonated. Let me know how you feel about it. If you want to add something, or maybe, correct something that I said, maybe put some nuances here and there. I would love to hear that. So yeah, I'm curious to know what role has perspective played in your life. And if you feel called to like and subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much for watching. I'm sending you all my love. Okay, see you next time. Bye-bye. All right, we have number 3, power. Okay, so having power as a view, you see who's a winner and who's isn't doing well. So you're keeping scores and have a good feel for life. You're letting people know where they're at. And that's the same for things, Your opinion on things that you're an expert of really matters. So, you probably don't know who is the winner in every field in life, because I'm sure that you're not interested in everything, right? But, in the one thing or many things that you are interested in, you can help people in their struggle in terms of what they need to be able to get by, and this is how you get by. So your opinion really, really matters, because you see the dynamic, you see who's good, you see what's not working, in terms of projects, in terms of people, talent, whatever. So just being attuned to the outside environment, and you have that feeling inside of you. Okay. When you are in transference as number 3, it becomes personal. And that means you check out of the world and you don't want to deal with it. You know, you don't want to deal with what is happening outside of you. And I imagine that this one might be hard sometimes because, I don't know, maybe, you know, the world has, I don't know, maybe you were in touch with your power, you know, or the world has, I don't know, sometimes we are disappointed, you know, how things turn out for us. And then we think that we don't have power to change things. And then we check out and, you know, we are like, oh, I don't want to deal with that anymore. I don't want to deal with anything that's happening outside of me. And, you know, I hear you, I really do, if that's, you know, what maybe what you're facing. But, you know, that shouldn't be the case, because yeah, that's not where you are in your power. And the thing is also, sometimes people don't want you to see them, you know, because, you know, they would prefer for you to get lost in your world so that they won't be like seen as failures, or because you might see that, you might see, oh, you know what, you're not, this is what you're doing, that's not working well. And they would be like, rather like, oh, you know what, just, you know, stay away from me. Yeah, and other times I imagine you get lost in your personal projects or mind business, as I call it, or any kind, you know, any kind of business actually. And really, as I said, stop paying attention to the world outside. And of course, that can be, as I said, for many different reasons. So I'm not judging that at all. I'm just bringing things to the light of your awareness in case you recognize this pattern and, you know, see in, you know, what conditions it appears. You know, there are probably certain conditions that, you know, bring up this pattern for you. And I'm really curious to know if you're willing to share in the comment section below more about that. And feel no pressure. I'm just, I'm just asking if you feel called to, so that other also might benefit. And yeah, so my question is, let me know what role has perspective played in your life. And if you want to, I would love if you like this video or subscribe to my channel. And again, no pressure. And thank you so much for watching. And yeah, sending you all my love. Bye-bye. Okay, we have color number 4, which is need or wanting. I think it's also the word. If you have this view, you see what people or community needs. You know, you see what is needed in business or in a concept, in anything really. And you're also one of those people who deeply care for this world. So I want to thank you, because I don't know, I would like to say the world needs more people like you, but I guess, you know, the world is as it is. But I'm just really grateful for your energy. So thank you so much for your care. Yes. So you have a view on things that, you know, people don't see, because oftentimes people don't see what they need. They just think that they know, or, you know, they get caught up in their life stories. But you can see through that illusion and really help them stay focused on what really matters to them. And how you do that, that's part of your authority. And obviously also other parts of your design. But, you know, this is what you see. And I think it's also important to share that you also need to know what your role is in all of that, because knowing what the other person needs and knowing who might provide for that need might be two different businesses. Because, you know, if you see the need, you might not need to act on it. Do you know what I mean? You can just recognize the need, and then regarding of your type and all of those things, you will know how to act further. You know, check in with your authority. what to do with that information, you know, if you need to do anything, because sometimes you don't have to do anything with that. It really depends, okay? All right, and I would like to talk about your transference, which is survival, okay? So when you're in transference, you might give people what they need, but because there is this underlying fear in you to survive, you know, when you make it about yourself and start worrying if you will survive, stop and bring that feeling or however that comes in awareness, you know, because you are in transference. And that's so powerful. If you can just stop, this is the most powerful thing that you can do. And as I said earlier, recognizing people's needs can mean that you might not be the person to give them what they need. And however, if you are at their service because, you know, you want to feel safe, you're not in your alignment, you know, it's really checking in. What is your intention? You know, what is your intention? Because if your intention is survival, you're in transference. And your role is not your personal survival. Stay above the fear and provide to people or projects or anything really what they need if you feel called to. Again, check in with your authority. And, you know, as I said, not so that you will survive, but so they could thrive. So not for you to survive, but so they could thrive. And can you tell the difference? It's really not about you. It's about the other. And sometimes the best thing you can give to someone is your absence. And sometimes is your presence. And when in alignment, you will know the difference. Okay. Let me know in the comments below if that resonated, if you would add something. I'm all ears. I would love to learn more from you, and I'm sure others will too. Let me know. Share maybe a story that you feel is suitable. And yeah, thank you so much. If you want to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Oh, and also the last thing, if you want, share what role has perspective played in your life. I would really like to know. But again, no pressure. Thank you so much for being you. Thank you so much for, you know, as I said, helping everyone for your care to this world, for this world. I'm sending you all my love and see you next time. Bye-bye. All right. Number 5 is probability. Okay. This view is more realistic, focused, and pragmatic. You have come this far, you know, you have a good grasp of things on reality. So you know what is actually going to happen. I mean, obviously not absolutely, but most likely. You can bring certainty and confidence to the table by being deeply seated in your view. And that's such a gift, you know, because you have this grounding knowing, you know, this grounding quality that people are like, okay, they know. All right. And I see you, color 5, as someone who assesses situation, right? Or a person who's very down to earth, you know, about what they can expect. So perhaps you don't always come across as, you know, the jolly person in the room, but your head is not in the clouds. You see things clearly from your perspective. And that's your gift. That's a big gift. You won't say to someone, you know, you can climb that mountain tomorrow if you want to, you know, just do it. You know, you're simply not that person. You're not a possibility person. That's not your jam. You're going to be very realistic. You know, you're going to be like, okay, so if you want to do that, let's see like, what's your, you know, like, how prepared are you? You know, what's your level of, I don't know, stamina, you know, what's your whatever. So you're really seeing the, you know, what's the probability, and you assess that, and you're probably quite right. Let me know if that resonates. And it's really important for you to stay in your energy, because when in transference, when you're not in alignment with yourself, you go into possibility, and that's not where you should be. Yeah, because you can lose the ground beneath your feet, and instead of being more firm and certain, you see more possibilities than probabilities. You know, you can't make a bet. You're like, yeah, maybe, I don't know. And you might even, you know, you might kind of let go of expectations, and you shouldn't have done that either. So yeah, let me know if that resonated. And you know what, you can also check what I talk about in number 2, so that, you know, you will kind of feel how that resonates. Yeah, I'm just like curious, you know, like if you see yourself doing that, and how did that play out in your life? Because it's not about me saying, well, you should do this, you should do that. No, actually, you know what? You are your own, you know yourself best, you know, and you always need to check in with yourself, because you have everything you need, that you need to thrive and to be in this environment. So always, your advice is, you know, your knowledge is the most powerful for you. And so what I'm asking you, if you feel called to, check number 2 and really see if there is, I don't know, maybe if there were some, I don't know, occurrences when you maybe were in transference and saw how things didn't play out for you, or maybe when you were in alignment with yourself, you know, how things play out for you very well. Yeah, and if you feel called to, please do share that. I'm really curious, you know, how probability have played a role in your life. And with that, I want to thank you for watching this video. Like it if you feel called to, and subscribe to my channel. No pressure, but thank you so much if you do. And I'm sending you all my love, and see you next time. Bye-bye. All right, we have the last view, which is called personal. Okay. And yeah, the way I perceive this view is as if these people aren't fully living among others, but in their personal world, because this is the final one. And this one is always, you know, the number 6, like color 6 is always kind of, I find it's almost, I don't know what the word would be. There is a good word that it's not coming to my mind, right? Because I don't know, it's just how it is. Yeah, but you're almost like above things. And then, you know, because you're in transition, like not transfer, but in transition to bringing something new, you know, it's like you're almost stepping into the unknown with one leg. This is how I see it. Okay. So yeah, you guys don't see things or perceive things in the same way as others. You know, you might see the world through your own process, and your world, you know, really revolves around you, which can, I would imagine, come across as selfish, but that's actually your contribution, because you have to be immersed in your world. Because when you are in your energy, when you are focused on yourselves and aren't bothered with others and their games of winning, losing in life. You know, it can obviously sound very, very self-absorbed and very self-contained, but that doesn't mean that you don't care about others, you know? You're just not actively engaging or comparing with the world, if that makes sense, because you're here to bring a different energy, to bring a different view, to, you know, be in your mind, to share something new, to share new perspective for everyone. And you can't do that if you are always playing, you know, if you're playing games with, you know, the rest, you know, if you're, you know, sometimes how, you know, if you listen to or heard about stories of maybe a famous artist that, you know, how they kind of extract themselves from society for some time and really went into this silence and, you know, kind of being hermits or self-isolate, you know, in order to really be with themselves and then create something out of it. You know, it's almost like I feel this view, it's like that, really being like, okay, I'm here, you know, it's me, it's not about the world, it's, I need to be focused on me, on in my world here is what is giving me content, you know, it's different. And yeah, it's like you live on the edge and you bring new things to the world just because of that. So don't lose that, all right? Okay. And let me know if this resonated. And yeah, I'm really curious to know more about this view, actually. Okay. And when in transference, you can compete. You're watching all these games, you know, keep score, who's winning, who's not, you know, you're bothered with the outcomes or, you know, the outside world. And, you know, instead of really being focused on your world. And this is where your power is, you know. And I find, as I said earlier, I personally find this one quite fascinating, because when you are not in your transference, you can live in a very peaceful and free way, you know, like you're immersed in your world, your view, and it's unique, it's special. And how inspiring and magnetic is that? And let me know in the comments below if you feel called to, how perspective has been playing a role in your life, and also with interaction with others. I'm really curious, you know, how others perceive you and what worked well, what didn't work, if you want to, obviously. And yes, thank you so much for, you know, for watching, for just being you. And if you feel called to like or subscribe to this video, thank you again. Send you all my love and talk to you next time. Bye bye. And if you're still here, let me know again in the comments section down below how you resonated with this message. Would you add, change something that I've said? I am listening. I am all ears. I would like to expand my mind. So please do share everything, anything that's on your mind. Maybe not everything, but anything that you feel, you know, it's worth sharing. Yeah, thank you so much. And again, like or subscribe if you want to. Thank you so much if you do. And I'm sending you all my love. Until next time. Bye-bye.